What's up, guys? I just woke up not too long ago and I am tired. Alright, so first off, I wanted to just apologize for not pumping out videos at a rapid pace like I usually do. I've been way busy lately. I have 3 other jobs now. I work at Old Navy. I work as a coach, for parkour, of course. And I work at the shoe department. At least I did work at the shoe department. I just got let go of there yesterday. So that kind of stinks. My recommendation, don't try to balance 3 jobs at once. On top of that, I'm doing YouTube, I'm getting into wedding videography, and I'm doing college. And so you can see the reason for not really pumping out videos at the pace that I usually do. Alright, so why haven't you guys seen me flipping? Well, as some of you guys may know, have seen, I broke my toe a while back. So I was doing the front flip in my hot dog costume off the thingamajig. And then I just kind of kept doing flips on it, thinking it was just like a little thing. And I just ended up messing it up worse. But here's that clip of the original fail. Here you go.
Ow.
You good?
Yeah. Ow.
Yep, so I did that, and then on top of that, this didn't help. This clip right here. So yeah, that's why I haven't been doing flips for a little while. I'm trying to let my toe recover. Okay, so I had recently posted a poll on YouTube that you guys responded to, asking if I should do more vlogs, kind of like about me, what's it like to be Seth, mate. And I figured I would start with just how I got here in general, just kind of like a brief span of my life so that you guys understand the background of Seth Sanders. It all started when I was just a lad. I was born in Elyria, Ohio, lived there for about 1 year, and then I moved to Washington for a few years, then I moved to Arizona, then to Texas, then to Castle Rock, Colorado, which is just south of Denver, then I moved back to Washington, then I moved back to Colorado, except this time an hour north of Denver in a place called Greeley. Then I moved to California, then I moved to Georgia where I did my mission, then I moved back to California, and now I live in Utah. So believe it or not, and it really shouldn't be that hard to believe, I was a total nerd all through school until about high school when I moved to California. I was a kid who would go in early and read nonfiction books in the library until school started. I was the kid that everyone wanted to do group projects with because they knew I would do all the work. And in middle school, I was actually, I don't usually tell people this, but this is just kind of so that you can get a real background of my life. I was actually bullied quite a bit in middle school. I, for example, 3 times, one of which was on my birthday, had my clothes while I was changing for gym class thrown in the toilet, peed on, and flushed down. And on my birthday, they took my chocolate bar. And so that was annoying. I was always picked on, people always tried to start fights with me. But luckily I had the huevos of a bull, and so I was able to, kind of like, make myself seem tougher than I was, even though I really wasn't all that tough. I was still a nerd. And so this kind of led me to do wrestling, because I wanted to learn how to fight people when the situation arose. And so I wrestled, and then I actually ended up being really good at it, and started to get some respect. Then I went into football, but I stopped growing and everyone else kept growing. So I've been the same weight since 8th grade and the same size. And so that's why football ended up not working out too well for me after a couple years, because everyone grew and I stayed the exact same, and So anyways, then I go into track. I'm like, hey, what the heck? Give track a try. Honestly, I kind of just did it because It was the only sport that I could really do, that I could talk to girls at the same time, and I ended up being really good at that too. And so what the heck, as time went on, I ended up being a decathlete, and what that entailed was, let me see if I can remember it all, 100 meter, 110 meter hurdles, 400 meter, 1500 meter, high jump, long jump, pole vault, discus, shot put, and javelin. And then they would throw me in relays too whenever the relay guys wouldn't show up or weren't feeling good. And so unfortunately, I was never able to compete in a decathlon, because the first year that I was a decathlete, I broke my elbow just a couple weeks before the decathlon, and so I wasn't able to actually compete in that. So that kind of messed me up, because I was really banking on that to help me get scholarships in college, because I would have been scouts there and I could have shown my skills off and then not had to pay for college. But year 2 comes around, and same deal, going strong, pumped for this decathlon, and then I tried doing a double backflip in front of an entire crowd of, I think it was 800 people or so. Failed, whipped my feet around, and broke both my big toes. And so that didn't work out very well, because the next day I had to run a mile, and I had to get a certain time to qualify for the decathlon, which I could have done. Except I had 2 broken toes, and so I ended up getting lapped. And my time was the worst time that I've ever gotten, because obviously I'm running on 2 limps. And so, never able to do decathlon. And so, graduated high school, Marietta Valley, 2016. And just a few weeks after, I left on my mission to Georgia. Alrighty, here's Georgia. So I started off in Roswell, spent 6 months in Roswell, went to a place called Fort Yark, which is kind of like Winder, Bethlehem area. Spent 6 months there. Then I went to Marietta, which is just south of Roswell, spent 6 months there. Then I went to Dahlonega, and that place it's in the middle of nowhere. You know, like The Walking Dead, where it's like all these sketch forest scenes and like random trailers, and then like all of a sudden there's a neighborhood, like an entire neighborhood, except it's abandoned. Yeah. That was literally filmed in Dahlonega. So after Dahlonega, I'm hauled over to this other place over here, spent 6 weeks there. Then I'm hauled over to this other place over here, spent 6 weeks there. And then, boom. Here I am, back in California. You guys probably already saw that video of me coming back from my mission. It's one of Seb's or Lelmate's more popular videos. If you haven't seen it, then click the tag above and it'll take you to that video. If you have seen it, then what the heck, just click it anyways. Now that you got a background of my life, let's talk a little bit about how I got into flipping and how I got into video editing. Once upon a time, I moved to California. It was my first day there that I met Sebs. Sebs only lived a couple houses down from me, and we played a game of basketball. And I sucked at basketball. I still kind of suck at basketball, but you know, whatever. It was August 12th, 2012. It was my brother's birthday, and he was over. And we locked ourselves in my backyard and said, we can't leave until we learn how to do a backflip. We could backflip on the trampoline already, and then what we did is we went from the trampoline to the little bar, the rim, on the outside of the trampoline, and backflipped onto that. And then I had this tiny little trampoline. We backflipped off that onto the ground, then we backflipped off the rim onto the ground, and then we just backflipped on the ground. I landed it my first time. Seb's necked it hard. So, I guess I'm just more of a natural than he is. Yeah, then he just totally stomped it the second time. And then I was like, well, fine. Sebs and I have always had like this unspoken competition where we always try to outdo each other in everything. And so I was like, fine, well, I'm gonna learn how to do a front flip. And so I learned how to do a front flip, and he was like, okay, well, fine, I'm gonna learn how to do a side flip. So he learned how to do a side flip. Then I was like, oh, well, fine, I'm gonna learn how to do a front flip 180. Then bam, and then and just kept growing from there. And one of Sebs' friends, his name is Chase. He was into like the whole filming and editing thing, and he got Sebs into that. And then Sebs got me into that. And, you know, it's kind of sick to film flips and whatnot. And so we started off with filming on our phones, and it was about this time that Kevin moved in just down the street. So we all lived like on the same street within 20 houses of each other. It was awesome. I was one of the first people that Kevin met. I think I actually might have been the first one when he moved in. And then I introduced him to Sebs. And then Sebs and I peer pressured him into doing a backflip, and he did a backflip, and it was awesome. And then we became Dem Mix Boys. And so we started off with filming on our phones, and then just using iMovie, the app, on our phones to edit stuff. And so, after flipping for a while, shooting videos. We got better. Each of us took a video production class where they would give us T3Is and we could just go out and film stuff. And we actually just got really good at that. And then, of course, I left on a mission. You know, I do my thing, have a good time, learn a lot. 2 years pass by, and I come back, and all of a sudden, Sebs is like famous or something, and I'm like, well, boop sauce. This stinks. And actually, we'll both admit, on the ground, I used to be better than him. He was kind of like dominant in the trampolines. I was dominant on the ground. So that should have been me.
I should be the famous one right now. I should be the one with 120,000 subscribers. That should be me.
And that's why you guys have to help me get to 120,000 subscribers. But yeah, believe it or not, I used to be better than him on the ground. But now I'm just like... Anyways, subscribe.
Letting go of all I've ever known.